I'd like to bring in Roger at this stage. I mean, obviously, as Federation of Small Business, there are so many issues for small and medium enterprises, and recently the Ulster Unionist Party brought forward a motion to the Assembly that received unanimous support in regard to public procurement. One of the major problems appears to be inconsistency in tendering, and how can that be addressed? And do we need more public clarity on public procurement, working in practice across the board?
Well, we were very pleased to see the commitment the party made towards public procurement in the Assembly, and also to see the support that it got on a cross-party basis. There's a £3 billion spend available every year in Northern Ireland from the public sector to buy goods and services within Northern Ireland. That's through the Reserve, the departments at Stormont, and also through local government. And so there's a huge opportunity there for that to be directed to benefit the local economy. And I think we've done fairly well here, but we're not as good as some other countries in the rest of Europe. For instance, Germany and France get a lot more of their spending staying at home. So we need to look at why that's not happening, because there's clearly political will to see it happening, but there are some barriers to it. And so the FSB has actually commissioned a study recently to look at the realities of public procurement, as opposed to the policy that's sitting in place, which is commendable in many ways. It's actually, what are the realities of that? What's the cash flow like? What's the payment of bills that are raised under public procurement like? How are the tenders structured? How small are they broken down to, so that you don't have things being clustered up into large amounts, which rules out a lot of small companies going for it? So I think there's good political will, but there's still a dislocation between that and the reality that our members are experiencing on the ground.
Okay, well, we talked earlier about the review of public administration. Do you feel that the move towards a new council model could be a vehicle to improve procurement in some areas?
We've done a study of local authorities throughout the UK, and in particular we looked at some in Northern Ireland to find out what was the proportion of their spend that was being committed to local businesses in their area. A couple of councils were featured in that report for their best practice, and that was Cookstown Council and Newton Abbey Borough Council, both of whom performed extremely well. And Cookstown needs to be commended and singled out for that, not only for its public procurement processes, but also for its commitment to make sure that all of the invoices were paid within 30 days, and that businesses were also trained in how to go for those public contracts. So if we see that it can happen in a council that decides to do it, then we would have hope that when the dust of RPA has settled, that there's at least a smaller number of organisations with whom we can engage directly to try and make sure that that best practice that's emerged in one council or two councils can be extended to all of the ones that are still standing after the RPA process.
Okay, thank you very much.